2, 3, Blizzard!
America is always on the move, moving forward, moving up, moving home. And whether you're moving across town or across the country, Pods delivers when we say we will, with no surprise costs. Which is why we were voted America's #1 container moving company. Join over 6 million people who have trusted Pods with their move. Book your move today at pods.com.
Season number 2 for the Minnesota Blizzard in the National Premier Soccer League starts tonight here at Lakeville North High School in the Twin Cities South Metro. The Blizzard tangle with the Thunder from Sioux Falls. Minnesota is seeking its first franchise win against a team they tied with. They had a draw with twice in 2024. The Thunder are already 1-0 on the season after a 2-1 win over Siouxland in their opener, and are all set to, surpass what they did last season, because they had one win all of last season, and Sioux Falls has already matched that total. And the Minnesota Blizzard ended up with no wins, a couple of draws, and 8 losses during the summer schedule. 3 of those losses were by 1 goal, and the 2 draws that they had with Sioux Falls were each 1-1. So here we go, season number 2 of the Minnesota Blizzard. Forrest Randall was the coach last season. He's the coach this season, and I chatted with him just a few minutes ago about the beginning of things here in 2025.
Big change over the roster. The talent is much higher. The training environment has been fantastic, so I'm really excited to see what we have.
What have you done leading up to this? I know there was a friendly last weekend and maybe some other things. What kind of playing experience do they have as a group?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple scrimmages. The first one, we performed really well. The score doesn't dictate it, but we were playing for 30 minutes with 9 men, or 10 men, and we still had control of the ball. So second game was 5-1, I think, us, and we really played the style of play that we were intending on last year. So yeah, we've done that. We've done a lot of 11s at training. We've had a lot of training sessions in, so we have near a full roster. We only have about 4 more guys coming into town later, and then yeah, I'm excited for the year.
What style do you want to have out there?
Attacking style. Keep possession of the ball. Everybody wants to say they want to be a possession team, but for me, it's more like how many moments can we create with that possession, and then. We like to transition to defense really, really, really fast. Win the ball back as fast as possible so that we just retain that possession once again. We don't let them feel like they can get comfortable connecting passes and having to sit back and defend.
What type of team is Sioux Falls?
Well, their roster's changed over a little bit since last year as well. I watched them play against Siouxland last week. They try to keep the ball. They'll have the ball, try to keep the ball with the back line a little bit more, maybe than last year. A very athletic team, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, there you have Forrest Randall. He is the second-year head coach for the Minnesota Blizzard. There are a couple of things that are different this season. The North Conference has a couple of changes. It was a 7-team conference a season ago. The Dakota Fusion won the conference, but then Duluth upset them in the finals of the playoffs to advance into the regional, and Duluth made it all the way to the national semifinals. But the Dakota Fusion are taking a year off this season, so that team is not a factor on the season. And then the Minnesota Twin Stars also are a team that is not competing here in 2025. Adding in a new team to the North Conference is the Iowa Demon Hawks. So it'll be a 6-team conference. And right now, Sioux Falls, the team that the Blizzard are playing tonight, already off to a 1-0 start. Duluth is off to a 1-0 start. The Demon Hawks and the Blizzard are each yet to play their first game, which we're here to witness tonight. And then Joy AC, I think they're out of St. Louis Park here in the Twin Cities. They're 0-1. And Siouxland United FC is 0-1 as well. So a 6-team Conference, which means a 10-game schedule. So a couple of less games than last season because they'll play each team twice. So it is a 10-game schedule. Starting here on May 17th is the very first game for the Blizzard, even though they did have that friendly last weekend. They'll go on the road for games on the 27th to play up in Duluth, and then on the 31st, they'll be over to play Sioux Falls and Siouxland back-to-back days, the 31st and June 1st. Then comes a 3-stretch of home matches for the Blizzard. Saturday, June 7th, they'll be hosting Des Moines, the new team in the conference. On Wednesday, a midweek game, June 11th, is Joy AC coming in. And Saturday, June 14th, Duluth makes the trip down. So that's in an 8-day span, Saturday to Saturday. They'll play 3 times from Saturday to Saturday. I have a couple of road games after that. Toward the end of June, the home finale will be on June 28th. That'll be against the Siouxland United Club, and that would be the regular season finale as well. Coach, and I should say owner Chad Hendricks is hopeful the team can be in maybe a top 4 position in the conference. Top 4 will move on into the playoffs. And what's pretty cool is he did a podcast with the marketing man, Matt Peterson. And at halftime of today's game, I'll play that for you. You can also catch it through the Minnesota Blizzard Facebook page. But in that interview is where Mr. Hendricks talks about goals on the season and believes the team can be in a situation to be competing for a playoff spot, being top 4 out of the 6 teams. Looking for their first franchise win would be a good building block to all of that. And tonight is the first opportunity at such a milestone. Players are lining up. The National Premier Soccer League with its second season here in the South Metro, playing games in Lakeville. Almost all the games were at Lakeville North High School last season, and for the moment all the games are scheduled to be here at North High School this season. The 5 home games, the one right now, and then 4 during the month of June. The officials for tonight: referee is Connor Weberg, the assistant referee number 1, Tyler Spitzka, assistant referee number 2, Emily Zilla, and the 4th official is Miguel Sosa. Running through starters now for the Thunder, from Sioux Falls. Amir Adamendia is the goalkeeper. He wears number 0. Wearing number 2 is Sunao Midarakora. Number 6 is Tom Hooper. Number 10, Nick North. North had one of the goals in the victory for Sioux Falls. Trace Dobson wears number 16. Ethan Glissendorf is number 21. Mason Cook, number 23. Wearing number 27 for the Thunder is Vincent Riddell. Suan Yang, number 32. And Aaron Hernandez, number 34. The head coach is John Hikari, assisted by Cole Schreiner. Looking now at the Minnesota Blizzard, they're dressed in black, lined up on that left side from our angle here, left of where the officials are standing there at midfield. In goal is number 0, Danny Burgos. On defense, number 3, Diego Connell. On midfield is number 5, Max Just, a returner for the team. Number 7, a forward, Jaden Morgan. Forward number 9, Will Schrock. On defense, number 10, Devin DeGrado, who had an amazing indoor season. We'll talk about that during the MASL 2 season, Major Arena Soccer League 2, that this Blizzard also sponsors a team in. Number 11 for the Blizzard tonight, midfielder Bilal Elgarab. Number 14 on defense is Elijah Bishop among the starters. Number 23, a forward, Keon McGoey. Number 25 on defense, Reed Wolf. And as a midfielder, number 27, Herbert Kopani. The head coach is Forrest Randall, Lachko Kostadinov, and Derek Fuchsberg are the assistant coaches. And we'll get this game underway here from Lakeville North in just a moment.
America is always on the move. Moving forward. Moving up. Moving home. And whether you are moving across town or across the country, Pods delivers when we say we will, with no surprise costs. Which is why we were voted America's #1 container moving company. Join over 6 million people who have trusted Pods with their move. Book your move today at pods.com.
All right, and we certainly want to say thanks to the sponsors on down the line. Holiday Inn of Lakeville, official summer away team hotel for the Blizzard, and Topper's Pizza. Enjoy a great Topper's Pizza today at one of their many Metro locations. Win a free pizza in the halftime raffle. You have to be here, but they do have some halftime raffles that'll be going on, and Chad Hendricks will be hosting those, owner of the Blizzard. So the Blizzard in black, and Sioux Falls is in white with black numbers, red trim. Red is an important color for Sioux Falls. It's the trim for their match tonight. Number 0 in the light blue is Aramendia in goal for the Thunder. Thunder, by the way, beat Siouxland 2-1. They have another game on Wednesday. They will be hosting the Iowa Demon Hawks. Then on Friday, May 30th, another home game with Joy AC. Saturday the 31st, a home game with these Blizzard. And Friday, June 6th, a home game with Duluth. So a big stretch of home games for Sioux Falls coming up. And it all starts on Wednesday. So between May 21st and June 6th, they will put 4 games into their schedule. Final team huddle right there for the Blizzard. They had some near misses last season, and Hendricks will talk about that when we play back that podcast for you at halftime. Some near misses. They had a lead late in a game that slipped away. They ended up with the 2 draws against Sioux Falls, had 3 one-goal losses, so they were right there, but still looking for that first official win. They did have a win in the friendly last weekend. And they will start with the ball here as well, will the Blizzard. Blizzard will go from right to left in front of us. You see the Panther head logo. We are at Lakeville North High School, home of the Panthers, and also the home pitch for the Blizzard. Just waiting for all the officials to get into place, I suppose. 45 minutes per half running time. We'll tack on stoppage time as need be. But the clock will run for that 45 minutes per half. I think we're about set to go, and off we go. So the Blizzard are in the black. As I said, DeGrotto, who just booted that ball with the left foot, he's on the defensive side here. He was pretty big-time offense for the indoor league and had a 14-point game between goals and assists. Of course, the indoor brand of soccer, Major Arena Soccer League 2, very high scoring. He had a 14-point game, and that was I understand, a league record. He was like all league team 2, but he plays on the defensive side, and right now they're trying to get past him as he looks to catch up to the man with the ball, who is Yang, and then he'll boot it out on the near side here to avoid a corner kick and instead just give up a throw-in. Woods comes over to throw it in for Sioux Falls, and a quick throw-in right into the box. And then getting through traffic and losing the ball out was Hernandez, and this will be a goal kick. Sioux Falls last season, 1 win, 4 draws, 7 losses. The 2 draws, 2 of those draws, 1-1 against these Blizzard. Driven hard on the header by Woods, who comes out of Sioux Falls. Loose ball, and that one goes back to the keeper, Burgos, Danny Burgos, wearing number 0, Burgos. Trying to get control of the ball, Elgarab, but he'll end up losing that to North, and North is a scorer. He has one of the 2 goals already for Sioux Falls. Midora Kawa is the other goal scorer from that first game, the 2-1 win over Siouxland. So already a 1-0 record. That's Kopani. And that one looks to be a goal kick as well, as it comes off of the offensive player over that end line. Couple of minutes in, 45 minutes per half. Last season, the Blizzard opened on the road up in the North Metro. Little contact, but not enough to bring a whistle for a foul or anything. It does force a turnover, and North gets control of the ball. Nick North tried to cross it. This is going to be a throw-in for Sioux Falls. So they opened on the road last season. This season right here, this is the first game of the season for the Blizzard. So this one is knocked out, and does this end up being a corner? It is indeed a corner, so we get our first corner kick of the game. Going for the Thunder. And over to execute is Tom Hooper. So Hooper has it set up. He's got one of his teammates, Woods, standing right at what would be the near post. Comes to the backside. Oh, it goes off. That's out of play. It goes off of the football goalposts. And for just an instant, I was thinking that, oh boy, scoring opportunity on a deflection in front of the net. But that is as good as out over the end line and a goal kick for the Blizzard. But the first corner belonged to Sioux Falls, and you want to be careful about those set pieces. Teams can turn those into great opportunities. There's McGoey. And I think that one out. That went out, so that'll be turned over here to Sioux Falls. Woods will toss it in, but right away, good aggressive play by Kopani. Then lost it back to the Thunder once again. Woods guides that pass across to the kind of left side of the formation. Some guys are wearing gloves out there. It's a chilly night, low 50s, maybe even upper 40s. This should be a throw-in for Sioux Falls. So some people wearing gloves, a lot of the Under Armour on long-sleeve T-shirts on quite a few of the guys. I look back on last year, and I think the temperature was in the upper 50s for the Memorial Day home opener, so it was not exactly summery weather either on that Memorial Day. So this one belongs to the Blizzard. They get the free kick from about midfield, headed into the box, and off of a bounce, Armandia will grab that ball. And he'll drive it with a punt. It looked like a punt into the wind. That was done pretty well. And goes all the way to Burgos. And his quick outlet comes ahead to DeGrotto. And DeGrotto under pressure gets that nice pass away ahead to Elgarab. And then there's a whistle. And it's lost by the Blizzard. Outside to Woods, Simon Woods. Little touch pass intercepted. And this is going to come back to the keeper, who's well outside of the box area, so he has to play that with his feet, but was otherwise going to be looking at a breakaway. Possession time. And I guess he's onside. No, there's the flag. He's offside. Once he played the ball, Morgan was in an offside position, so that one is going to go back over to Sioux Falls. I think Coach Randall made a comment about attack. He talked about possession. He talked about attack. And the Blizzard certainly seemed to be coming out that way with the couple of times they'll stretch pass opportunity, but in this case offside. There's a long pass intercepted, taken away by the Blizzard, and they're going to push this one back to Burgos. That one is lobbed high. Headed back over where Sioux Falls tries to gain control of it. Trying to hook it up the far wing is Cook. It goes out for a throw-in for the Blizzard. A couple of days ago, Duluth beat Joy AC 3-1. So Duluth, who made it all the way to the national semifinals. They were second in the North Conference, but upset Dakota Fusion. As the Blizzard go with, again, that long pass. This time they were trying to connect with, was that Schrock in there deep, I believe? It was Schrock. Didn't quite connect with him. Now the Blizzard get the throw in. Almost 7 minutes gone by. The only, in essence, good scoring chance we had was that Sioux Falls had the corner. Didn't really lead to a great scoring chance. That long cross field one. Oh, boy, bad turnover and a great stop. That goal is open. There's a shot getting back to get a piece of it and knock it out. It's going to be a corner, I do believe, as Burgos got back. But boy, oh boy, there was a great chance right there. Talking about chances, Sioux Falls had a golden opportunity. Burgos came out, made the play, and then on a follow-up try by North, Burgos smothered that one as well. But it does lead to the second corner of the game. And Hooper, who put his foot on the first corner, is going to do that again. No score in the game, 7.5 minutes in, 45-minute halves. And Hooper goes to the middle, bouncing around, and cleared. That one spent a few harrowing moments in kind of a dangerous area. Chipping that over is Dobson. That is Trace Dobson. There is also Talon Dobson on the team. They are brothers. Blizzard who got the throw in. So Duluth off to a 1-0 start after their impressive run last season. They had to win after came in second in the conference, so they were favored to win their first playoff game. But then the upset of Dakota. Nice pass, leads ahead to North. Crosses that one, mishandled a bit. There's a shot that sails. So another good scoring chance. Certainly Sioux Falls with the scoring chances early. And then Duluth moved on to the Midwest Regional, where in the semifinal they beat Des Moines United and then topped Steel City FC to advance to the national semifinals. They lost there to El Farolito, who ended up winning the National Premier Soccer League Championship. They ended up beating FC Motown in the final. But Duluth will be an imposing team. This is going to be a foul against the Blizzard. And again, that is another topic that'll be brought up between marketing guy Matt and owner Chad Hendricks during a podcast that will air as much of as we can at halftime. Woods lost that. It's taken by McGoey. And McGoey finds Kopani. Blizzard, that one kind of outkicked his coverage, so to speak. Waiting for that one to come back into the penalty box. Alamandia. And Sioux Falls will start their journey forward and work it back to their keeper. We're in the 10th minute, no score. 1-1 draws each time these two met last season. This is Dobson, I believe. And this ball's going over to the Blizzard. Minnesota had a very cool indoor season. They ended up with 3 wins, 3-9 in the MASL 2. There's a DeGrotto is the one player that really comes to mind as having been on both teams, but it is certainly a different group of players, a different sport in all reality, but still under the umbrella of the Minnesota Blizzard, both teams, the MASL 2 team and this NPSL team. Sioux Falls trying to force the issue as Minnesota tries to figure out a way up and out of their end. This comes over to Elijah Bishop. And Bishop is given a little bit of time to decide what to do. Passes into a little bit of trouble. A tackle, slides that ball away. A collision as everyone comes together on a header. One of the Blizzard players yet to get back to his feet as he is getting back to his feet now. And that is Max Just, one of the returners on this team. Looked like maybe limping a bit, but he's all right. Oh. And Just is going to get a yellow card on that one. Came back and ran over a player. So a yellow on Just. Comes here in the 12th minute. And the free kick. Hooper, he's their man on the set pieces. He's handled both corner kicks. Burgos getting himself set up. There's a wall of 3 in the closest vicinity to Hooper. And that is deflected and off of a bounce, grabbed and corralled by Burgos. Just had been maybe he felt the victim of a close call that knocked him down, and he took it out on a player that resulted in the yellow. Now with the ball, Hernandez right in front. Oh, what a save! And there was a whistle in the process of that play happening. And it's going to be a corner kick is what it is. So it must have gone out, maybe deflected off that crossbar. They go with the quick corner, and this time Hooper didn't take it. Hooper got it back and then kind of crisscrossed with the man. And this one to the far post. Oh, and there's a great stop in front and another great stop by Burgos. He got some help from a teammate on the play right before it. And then Burgos gets to that ball. So the opportunities are mounting here for the Thunder. Blizzard's chances have been few and far between, and one of their best-looking chances was an offside. So Sioux Falls is really kind of tilting this field as play goes on at midfield. Planet Soccer. Visit one of their 4 metro locations for all your soccer needs. Throw in for the Thunder. Herberts and Gerberts, the Blizzard sandwich sponsor. Visit the Lakeville location for an awesome sub. Herberts and Gerberts. It's a Sioux Falls throw. Looking for, I think that's Dobson in the corner. And never did get connected with him. Good defense there. Goal kick, as it turns out now, for the Blizzard. Some dark clouds, but I don't believe that we've got a threat of any nasty weather. It's been an interesting weather week in Minnesota with some severe weather a couple of days ago after some midsummer heat early in the week. Now kind of a chilly May day, around 50 degrees. With the ball there was Kopani, all the way across to an open man. 15 minutes through the first half. They're trying to find El Garab. This will be a throw-in for the Blizzard. Connell puts it into the feet of Schrock. Stays Blizzard ball. Get a whistle. It's going to stay Blizzard ball. Foul on the Thunder. And the Blizzard get a free kick. Got a 2-man wall that's beginning to set up. The referee will put them at that 10 yards. And now becomes a 1-person wall. And players marking up here on the offside. There's a drive knocked down by Adamandia. And this will be a corner. First corner of the game for the Blizzard.
Blizzard corner kick sponsored by Courtyard by Marriott Roseville, the official indoor soccer hotel of choice for the Blizzard and all the visiting opponents.
Corner kick also sponsored by Pods, the official storage company of the Blizzard. Use Pods for all your storage and moving needs. Visit pods.com. Corner, that one comes out, sails out a little bit. Elgarab, and then just totally lost to the Thunder for a moment. Blizzard get it back thanks to the work of Just getting it over to Bishop and tossing it on back to Burgos. Waste little time with his kick, headed forward by Schrock. Possession exchanges sides there, big collision. Play will carry on. Both players just going for it. Nothing that needed a whistle. Hooper ended up keeping that one in. Blizzard quickly drive it the other direction. Getting spun around is Morgan. Got that ball off to Elgarab. And that's put into the box and picked up by Adamandia. Knocked down by DeGrado. That player trying to work through. And apparently we got a foul called on the Blizzard. But a quick restart, I guess. Simon Woods moves it back. Almost 18 minutes in. Sioux Falls has had the better chances. 3 corner kicks to 1, plus a couple other great scoring opportunities. Blizzard clogged things up there, but it leads to an opportunity. That player was offside, and the ball came in contact with him, so this will go back to the Blizzard. We've got some fans sitting on this side, and one fan who has decided to take a seat on the far side. Otherwise, most people sitting on the press box side of the field here. And I think the wind is at your back if you're over here as well. But one hardy fan has decided he's going to have the whole section to himself. Coming off that offside play. Getting into too much traffic was McGoy. DeGrado swings that over, head up as he dribbles up the pitch. Oh, nice interception by Yang. Start transition the other way for the Thunder, and then Just gets it back for the Blizzard. Back to Just, tapping that ahead. Trying to find Morgan, but I believe that it's out and belongs to the Thunder. Or did a Thunder player... Oh, we got a foul against the Thunder. They went back to previous spot there, roughly at midfield. So a foul against the Thunder allows the Blizzard to have it. Now lost it. There's a collision there. This is going to be a whistle against the Blizzard. No card being issued, but Kopani. And then he's going to go check on the player, who is a Suyan Yang, I believe was the injured player that is lying on the field right now. Clock will continue to run. If necessary, we'll add stoppage time later on. Lakeville Brewing Company. Check out one of their 3 locations in the South Metro. Lakeville Brewing on the Lake in Lakeville reopens soon. Christian Brothers Great Automotive Services. Check them out at their Lakeville location or their 2 other locations in the Metro. Christian Brothers. No score, 20th minute. North High School in Lakeville, home for the Blizzard. I think we get another foul called on Minnesota. So right from the middle is where Sioux Falls will restart. Chopped back by Glissendorf. Stretch it all the way across, missed on the pass, and I think that's DeGrado. He is just going to let that roll out, protected it well from the offensive player, and this turns into a goal kick for Minnesota. Number 0s in both goals today, Danny Burgos for the Blizzard, and Amir, A-I-M-A-R, Amir Aramendia is the keeper for the Thunder. Burgos on the goal kick. Pretty big collision, and this call goes against Sioux Falls. Just was there for Minnesota, and I believe that it was Dobson that he collided with. Call goes against Sioux Falls, so Minnesota got the restart. That one's out. Quick throw in by Sioux Falls. A little touch pass is stolen by DeGrado. But then his pass is swiped away by Cook. Blizzard get it back. Get a rush going. Schrock drives it wide. And this will be a goal kick for Sioux Falls. Almost midway through the first half. Next home game for the Blizzard is June 7th, and then they go 3 games in 8 days. Saturday the 7th, Wednesday the 11th, and Saturday the 14th. Bing, bang, boom. 3 matches back to back to back. Oh boy, taking a chance, but it worked for the Thunder because the Blizzard were trying to find that open player, not so open, but trying to find McGoey. Thunder came across the his front and got the ball away, but that was an aggressive move, taking it a chance. It worked out for the Thunder. Getting into a little bit of traffic. Bishop tries to handle through that and chopped away from him. Here's DeGoey. Pushes the ball back to Kopani. And now this, can Kopani get there before it goes out? He does. Deep on his own half. He'll drive that. Little side of the foot by Delgado. Lost to Sioux Falls. They lose it out. This is Minnesota throw-in. Trying to race to it is Morgan, but he's got two players to beat, and then they push it back to their keeper, Armandia. Forcing a turnover, just kind of powering his way to that ball was Elgarab, and then working it back to Kopani. This will be a Minnesota throw-in. Hey, take note of a fundraiser, a give-back night, a meet and greet this coming Tuesday, starting at 4 o'clock at B52, Burgers and Brew. But you got to find the flyer. It's on the Minnesota Blizzard Facebook page. Players will be there for a little while as well, from 5:30 until 6:30. But from 4 until close, it's a fundraiser for the Minnesota Blizzard. Of course, great burgers and everything at Burgers Brew, B52 in downtown Lakeville. But take a look on the Facebook page for the Minnesota Blizzard, because you do need the flyer. You need the flyer that makes it a fundraiser for the Blizzard this coming Tuesday. Again, go to the Blizzard Facebook page to take a look at what that is all about, and for all the other news related to the Blizzard. Sioux Falls getting pressured, tipped ahead by Riddell, and the Thunder have a little bit of room to work. Wow, player slipped. It has been raining the last few days. I wouldn't think you get too much slippage on these artificial turfs, but one player just fell down. Cook gets to the ball for Sioux Falls, works it to the outside. That player gets smothered by a couple of... Oh, guy gets tripped up pretty significantly. This will be a foul on him. And gets a quick talking to by the official. We've had one yellow card issued in the game, but a couple other fairly hard tackles have not gone as yellows. DeGrado drives that one hard through. Now it is Morgan. Oh, tried to go back to Morgan, but he had already vacated. Turnover, Sioux Falls ball. Pass back, reaching back for Dobson. Got a man. And everybody comes together. Burgos gets there a split second before the attacker, who pats him on the shoulder. It was Nick North. North and Mitarakawa are the two players that had the goals in the win for Sioux Falls over Siouxland. Headed by Glissendorf. Now trying to go outside to Woods. And Woods has it jabbed away. This will still be Sioux Falls ball. And Woods draws it back to center back. 26th minute of the first half. Sioux Falls has had some good scoring chances. Minnesota still looking for some good chances. Another player slips right in the same spot. Here's Woods battling hard. Now DeGrado rolls it back to his keeper, Burgos. Can't play it with his hands, so he kicks it. Cook is over there for Sioux Falls. He's being marked by Connell. Now to the middle. Boy, can't get off the shot. Great opportunity there for Sioux Falls right in front, but some good defense got on the player. I believe that Kopani was one of those that was marking up on a Sioux Falls player that was setting up in the middle of that penalty area. And this ball belongs to Minnesota. There was a foul called on Sioux Falls. Courtyard by Marriott in Roseville, the official indoor soccer hotel of choice for the Blizzard and all of their visiting opponents. Courtyard by Marriott, Roseville. Sioux Falls in white, the Blizzard in black. blue is their other main color, but they've got the black kits on today. Now an opportunity coming in is McGoey. Can't really line up a shot. Crosses it. Tapped. Open. Shot. Goal for the Blizzard. Minnesota scores first. In today's game, DeGoey set it up. Passed it over. And Morgan puts it in. And Minnesota is on the board. This comes in the 28th minute. And DeGoey certainly set it up. And the Blizzard score first. And they haven't had a lot of great scoring chances. Jaden Morgan on the goal. I assume DeGoey will get an assist on that, but we'll have to watch for the official stats down the road somewhere. But what counts most is a 1-0 lead. And they did announce McGoey as the assist. One 0 Minnesota.
Roy, that's our Ireland connection. Those are the two Irish guys on the team.
Oh, so the two Irish guys on the team combined. They've got a certain symmetry or a nice connection. DeGoey setting up Morgan. Great job there at 1-0. 1-0 Minnesota. To North, gets to the ball, and then this is a corner. Just wanted to deny any cross opportunity, but instead it is a corner. Hooper goes over to take it. They've done, well, this looks like it'll simply be a kick. Last time they went short on it. But the fourth one of the game for the Thunder. Headed. Ooh, players knocking each other over a little bit. This ball should belong to Sioux Falls, and I think we've got a substitution or a timeout. Yeah, we do have a substitution. Player is coming in here shortly for Minnesota, but this is Sioux Falls ball, so I don't know if this would be the opportunity to change personnel or not. We'll wait and see if they do allow, and they are going to have the switch. So Minnesota makes a change. And let's see what gentleman we have coming on. This is Diego Navia. Diego Navia comes on. Trying to catch the number of the player that he replaced, but he's standing as he walks over to the bench in such a way that I can't read it. It might, well, I'm not sure. But we know Navia is the new player on the pitch. Oh, Elgrab is the one who came out. All right. Got Jim Carlson on the public address in the booth next door, and he caught that. Morgan, who just scored the goal, now works with the ball and keeps it away from several Thunder players. And now stripped away, and Minnesota gets it back quickly. Outside to DeGrado. And DeGrado kind of out kicks the coverage. Ball mishandled by Armandia, but it didn't cost him. Now here's McGoey. Over to his right to Navia. Navia looking for Morgan. And I believe, yep, Sioux Falls gets this one as it goes out of bounds. The official sports drink and kit sponsor of the Minnesota Blizzard FC is X Hydration. Check out their Arctic Blast flavor sold at home games and at Hy-Vee and via Amazon. Get some at the concession stand. X Hydration when you come on out to a Blizzard game. June 7th is the next one. June 11th, June 14th, and June 28th are the other dates to be here at Lakeville North High School for Blizzard Soccer in the National Premier Soccer League. Oh boy. Had to play it with his feet. Burgos was getting pressured. And now the ball tipped by a Thunder player rolls out on the touchline and a throw in for the Blizzard. Toka Soccer, check out their upgraded facility in Burnsville. They are the official indoor training site of the Minnesota Blizzard FC. Wow, that one skies. And when weather or field conditions, there's Sioux Falls pushing it back to Otamondia. When the weather limits them or the field conflicts, because it's a busy field during the high school season, I guess off to Toka Soccer for the Blizzard. Ball has to go back a bit to where the infraction occurred. That is a foul on Minnesota that turns the ball over to Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls on Wednesday, speaking of home games, this coming Wednesday, the 21st, they've got the Iowa Demon Hawks, the new team in the North Conference, is coming to the Sioux Falls home field. Throw in for the Thunder. Trying to get it into Dobson, and then cleared high in the air by Bishop. And the ball will roll out and belong to, so you got the center official saying it belonged to Sioux Falls, and the side judge, the side referee, said it belonged to Minnesota, and the Blizzard win that. Win that disagreement between officials. Got about 10 minutes left in the opening half. 1-0 Minnesota. Morgan on the goal in the 28th minute. Fed ahead for Dobson. Dobson slips it over to North. North puts it on goal. Had a man cutting to the front of the net as well, Hernandez, but getting to the ball first, Burgos to cover up. Minnesota did get a 5-1 win in a friendly over the Wisconsin Conquerors last weekend here at Lakeville North, but still looking for their first franchise win and have a 1-0 lead in this game. Pretty physical contact these last couple of lobs deeper into the Sioux Falls side. That time DeGoey was all tangled up. Sioux Falls pass intercepted for a moment by DeGrado, then back to him. Tight quarter passing right here, back to DeGrado. Then up for DeGoey. Really working hard on it. Nevea tries to work his way through Mitarakawa, and Mitarakawa now has the ball. And his pass coming out is Burgos, and he'll just fall on that because there was a Thunder player sprinting in toward him. Suan Yang was heading toward that confrontation point. Again, good passing by Minnesota. Chipped ahead by Morgan. Minnesota continues that progression forward, and there is where it stops. A good play made by Sioux Falls, and that forces the turnover. The player who forced the turnover, by the way, was Cook. Sioux Falls is going to get a throw in. Don't know that we have much stoppage time to be concerned with yet, but we still have almost 10 minutes to go in the first half of the first game of the season for the Blizzard. Second game for the Thunder. They're 1-0. Matching their win total of last season in their first match of this season. They had 1 win, 7 losses, 4 draws. Minnesota last season, no wins, 8 losses, 2 draws. Ball back to Hooper. Hooper centers that into traffic. Somehow sticking with it, Hernandez. Thunder maintain possession. Here's Cook. Left-footed drive. Goes off of a Blizzard player. Now it's North with the ball. North goes looking backdoor there, essentially, and Connell knocks it away. And then before Burgos can get to it, somebody else cleared it out over the far line. It'll be a throw-in for Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls has had some really good scoring chances today, and they've got kind of an extended time here where they're controlling the ball. Until then, stolen away. Here's an opportunity. This is a 2-on-1. Racing up, the pass comes and can't quite get off the shot. Wow, good job coming back there defensively, and then up stepped Arananda to grab the ball. Woods is the one who came back to help break up that play, as I think it was DeGoey who was going to get a good opportunity otherwise. So good job by Sioux Falls to get back and cover up on that. 1-0 Minnesota. Long pass, that one is knocked away. Reed Wolf gets in the way of that one. Still Sioux Falls ball, however, goes to the feet of Hooper. And now they come outside to Cook. Hernandez just loses the physical battle to DeGrado. And which way are we going? We're going Minnesota, says the referee. Minnesota ball. At halftime, I believe we have the technology to play at least most of a podcast that owner Chad Hendricks had with marketing guy Matt Peterson. Give you some information on that indoor season where Minnesota had a real nice season, and some notes about what they're expecting this season from the outdoor campaign as well. In the NPSL, the indoor season is the MASL 2, Major Arena Soccer League. They played those games at the Warner Coliseum at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds, and was a cool atmosphere. A lot of people got the chance to interact with Eddie the Yeti, the mascot for the Blizzard. So as everyone resituates themselves, I'll let you know that Subway by McStop, official post-game fuel for the Blizzard. Get a sub at the Blizzard game concession stand. Eat fresh. Subway. 40th minute. And we had a bit of a delay call. Minnesota ball. Are the officials coming together to discuss what's being called? So one official was waving his flag. Sometimes that's for a potential offside. I don't think that was the situation here. Or if it was, they've discussed it. And Minnesota will still keep the ball. So whatever had to be figured out was. And Minnesota goes on the attack. Little give and go. Ball is out off of the Blizzard player. So this one swings back over to Sioux Falls. Lifting that high in the air, Dobson. Here's Cook, puts on the brakes to stay away from DeGoey. Oh boy. That would seem to bring a whistle, and a player for Sioux Falls is slow to get up. We've got a yellow card. Yellow card issued on a member of the Blizzard, and is that DeGrado? I think it is. So a second yellow of the game, both on Minnesota. This coming in the 41st minute. Player for Sioux Falls yet to get back up. Now on his feet. The injured player is Yang, and it looks like he's going to be taken off. He's got his hand up around his neck, so it could be some protocol that needs to be gone through. They didn't allow him much time to maybe continue, and instead a new player is going to come on in his place, I guess. Although I haven't seen anybody make a move, or they're going to give him some time to see if he can continue. But I do see a player on the Sioux Falls bench who is now taking off his warm-up and putting on a jersey. So I think that Yang is going to be out of the game, and a new player is entering for Sioux Falls as we move into the closing minutes of the first half. Pick up his number here in a moment. Right away, the ball comes to him. That's Storm. Stevenson Storm is the new player on the pitch. Young man's name is Storm for a team that calls themselves the Thunder. Oh, bicycle kick right into the body of Burgos. Trying to figure out if it was Storm that just took that bicycle kick. There was several players in the middle, and in the flash of feet and spinning bodies, I'm not certain who it was. But boy, Burgos was in exactly the right place. Minnesota's lead is 1-0. Playing the long ball. A lot of contact on the defensive side. But play continues into the corner. Now right on the edge of the box. Cleared wide and ahead. Mitakora fired it forward. Ball is out off of Sioux Falls. It's a Minnesota throw-in. Or did they actually rule it a foul? That Minnesota gets a free kick. I'm still trying to figure that out. No, it looks like a throw-in. Throw-in for Minnesota. Down to the last couple minutes. Did they say Yang came back on? Sioux Falls clears the ball ahead. And that is Connell for Minnesota. Chips it ahead. Coming out to play it is Adamandia. And now backtracking on it is Wolf. Headed by the Sioux Falls player, but he's got no support down there. Slow to get back up to his feet after the header, and that is Yang. So Yang did return to the match very quickly after leaving. Burgos has to hurry. North was heading in on him, trying to find Morgan on the long bomb, and this is out and belongs to Sioux Falls. We're in the final minute of the first half, but there'll be a little bit of stoppage time, I would think. And we'll find that out from the officials at some point, radio it up here or what have you, to get the word to us, or we will just wait for that final whistle as we're down to the final 30 seconds of our first 45 minutes. Through traffic is Hooper. Minnesota comes up with the steal, then too strong on the pass. Back on it. Good job guiding that one ahead by Riddell. And now Riddell has to go after it again. We have a yellow. This would be the third yellow on Minnesota. And with the collision there, a couple of different guys. I'm not certain who the yellow went on. So we just know that Minnesota got a yellow, but I'm not certain who it was. Clock is up over 45 minutes, as you can see, but stoppage time allows things to continue. Goalkeeper Burgos will kick this one into action. Headed by the Blizzard. Crossing it, headed again, little ping pong action. Blizzard lob it. We're a minute and just about a minute into the stoppage time. Comes the throw in by Sioux Falls, deflected out. One might be going to the lake. Pond back there beyond the parking lot. Now into the box, and they're going to allow Burgos to get to that one, and actually it was last touched by Sioux Falls, so Burgos gets a goal kick out of this. First half coming to an end here shortly. Schmitty and Sons, the official away game transportation for the Minnesota Blizzard FC. They get the Blizzard where they need to go with their reliable service. Schmitty and Sons. Cleared high in the air by Cook. Headed down toward the offensive third by Sioux Falls, but that's rejected. Now working through the middle. Sioux Falls reclaims. Ooh, a little tackle play, nicely done. and leads to a bit of a chance, but then goes flying. The attack man there for Minnesota, I think that was Navia. But now on the counterattack, here's a big drive that is just high. Wow, just high. And then what happened was the ball ricocheted around the netting that's right behind the net. So from the angle here, it was hard to tell where the ball was, but it certainly didn't look like it had gone into the goal. But they've got some netting right behind the net, so that keeps the ball from straying too far. 2.5 minutes into injury time here, and we continue. 1-0 Minnesota with the lead. Schrock chips it forward and knocked the other way by the Thunder. They have a brewing opportunity. Tight pressure then by Minnesota. Coming up with the ball is Max Just. And then he clears it out on the far side, leading to a throw-in, avoiding a corner kick. Oh, it is a corner. All right. So it did go out over the end line. So here's a corner, 5th corner of the first half for Sioux Falls. And Hooper, I believe, is on the corner kick again. At least he has been each time. They get it there. It deflects. Did that go off the bottom of the crossbar? So a great scoring chance again for Sioux Falls. And we're going to hit halftime here. Halftime comes now. So about 3 and change of bonus time. Their injury time is how you go with it. And the Blizzard have a 1-0 lead at the break. The goal by Morgan coming in the 28th minute. DeGoey set him up, and Minnesota will take a 1-0 lead into the halftime break. Canada Bloom Wealth and Solutions is committed to helping you succeed. The ways they can help you are based on experience, not quick fads or quick wins. Give them a call to discuss how they can help. And I remind you to join at B52's. I guess it's on Monday the 19th. I thought I read Tuesday on the website, but Monday the 19th. At B52's from 4 until close for Blizzard Night at B52's. Meet the team from about 5:30 until 6:30 as well. Monday, May 19th for that fun event coming up at B52's in downtown Lakeville. So with our halftime score of 1-0, we'll take a short break and then be back with a little halftime feature, including comments from owner Chad Hendricks during the course of a podcast. We'll be right back to Lakeville North High School.
America is always on the move, moving forward, moving up, moving home. And whether you are moving across town or across the country, Pods delivers when we say we will, with no surprise costs. Which is why we were voted America's #1 container moving company. Join over 6 million people who have trusted Pods with their move. Book your move today at pods.com.
So here at the half, 1-0, Minnesota with the lead over Sioux Falls. Very exciting first half in that sense, even though Sioux Falls seemed to have more scoring chances. But the one goal that happened in favor of the Minnesota Blizzard, and I believe we have it for you. There you see DeGoey across, and after Morgan got it away from the keeper, Adamandia, the goal was open and the celebration was on. So that made it 1-0. And then pretty late in the first half, coming off that corner in the closing replay time, or I should say the stoppage time, here is the corner, a deflection, and there you see it goes off the bottom of the crossbar. Wow. All right, great job, replay technician Curtis, on that. So that's pretty exciting to have as well. And let's see here about getting queued up for Chad Hendricks visiting with, see, now I lost it on here. I thought I had that. It'll just take me a minute to find that. Okay, might take more than a minute. But here we go, Minnesota Blizzard. You can find the full podcast on the Blizzard Facebook page. And I had queued it up before we went on tonight, but once in a while the phone just wants to kind of go back to its previous settings. So we'll get that going for you here as Chad visits with the marketing guy for the Blizzard.
Here, owner of the Minnesota Blizzard FC, doing our first ever podcast with the Blizzard Free Zone. I'm here with Matt Peterson. He's our marketing manager for the team. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Chad. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Matt, I'm glad to have you here and to launch our first ever, and hopefully future we'll do more of these and give some people the insights behind the scenes of the Blizzard, what's going on with the Blizzard, and just some audio feedback on the team.
Absolutely. Very exciting.
Awesome.
So I have a few questions for you, Chad. We just finished up the indoor MASL 2 season. What went well, and what do you think you can improve on for the next year?
Well, how long are we recording for? I mean, I think that it could be. I could go on and on, but I was super happy with the season. I love the indoor game since I fell in love with it back in the 80s as a kid, and I was so excited to launch the Blizzard and get in the MASL season. Our season overall, we were 3-9 as a record. We could have easily been probably 5-7, maybe even 6-6 with a few breaks and a few, getting the guys up to speed. But we had some really good moments as well. I mean, aside from the 3 wins, which all 3 came at home, by the way, we were 3-3 at home, so not a bad home record. Yeah, and we had some great, we lost against Des Moines, but our second half against Des Moines, who is the national champion, we had a second half where we actually beat them in the second half, and they were still playing hard. Our guys just really stepped it up and played well. That was an awesome game. I think about the first game at Muskegon. We ended up losing that game. I think it was 9-7, but that was an amazing indoor soccer game. It actually got feedback from the league as that is how indoor soccer is played. They gave us congrats to Muskegon and Minnesota on an amazing game. I think we're building a great rivalry with Muskegon. And just as a new team in the league, it's like, hey, we're new to indoor soccer, and it's so different than outdoor soccer. And to play against teams like Muskegon and Des Moines and St. Louis, who have been in the league for years and they've developed indoor soccer players, the fact that we can go 3-9 and be, probably, I think we were like the 12th best team out of 16 in the league, in our first year. I just think we've got some great opportunities to go forward and just keep improving. I think, you mentioned things to improve on, and I think, just the player pool. I think we had some really good players. We got a great core of guys, and, we had some of the guys join us mid-season, some guys coming from outdoor soccer again that hadn't played, a high level of indoor soccer before, where it's a way different kind of game. And so just integrating these players, I think we're just going to be another, next year will be another level up, and the next year another level up. I think that's really the big thing, is just trying to we got our feet wet and had some great experiences and got some wins. We had a couple players get recognized, with some games. Devin DeGrotto had an awesome game against Wisconsin. He ended up being the 5th leading scorer in the league which is again amazing, and a lot of other accolades that we got. I think we did a lot of great things. We had a lot of great fans at the game. We had over 800 fans at one of our final home games, which was amazing. The atmosphere at the St. Paul Coliseum was great, and I'm just looking forward to more of that in the future. Yeah, so nothing but good things on the indoor level I see in the future.
Absolutely, and it's so exciting to see the team starting off, indoors, and it's so exciting to see that foundation building up and the team thrive.
Yeah, and I
So,
love that, and I love that that team has got the whole. I mean, it sounds dramatic here, but the whole state behind them, right? We're the only indoor team in the state, and we can get our fan base can be largely the whole metro area and beyond. So I love that aspect as well. Our summer team's a little different, but yeah, that's awesome.
sure, yeah, very exciting. So the next question I have for you, how is the planning and preparation going for the second NPSL season coming up here in just a month or two?
Yeah, great segue. I mean, I think as we're ramping up now, it's April 3rd as we record this, and ramping up for our NPSL summer season, our second season, and just a lot of. I think again we're ahead of the curve. Last year we got going. I think we had our tryout in March, started building a team, training in April, and games in May. We were just kind of, hey, we got thrown into it. This year we had our first tryout in December. We've got core players coming back from last year, plus the tryout in December. We had a second tryout in March. We're getting more word out there. In our second tryout in March, we had, I think, over 55 guys at the tryout, and we only kept like 5 guys. Like we can really be much more selective in the talent pool. A lot of great guys came out, and we appreciate that. But we already had, again, a core coming back. We had a bunch of great guys from December. We've got a few out-of-state guys coming in, as you probably have seen in our social media posts. We've got a couple guys coming in that are from Ireland. We've got a guy from Tennessee, Texas, an Italian player, Giovanni. He's coming back from last year's team. Logan Thompson's coming back from last year's team, who was injured the entire season. He got injured in the first game, but he's going to make an impact this year. We've got some great.
He's back and ready to go.
Yeah, he's back and he's going to play this year. He literally got injured in the first half of the first game last year and didn't play another game. I just think our talent level is going to be so much higher than last year. Again, we had a great competitive team last year. And I think this year it's going to translate into some wins and some goals on the field that are going to be better than last year. So that's what I'm really, thinking about for the season.
Oh, for sure. And that kind of leads us into the next question.
Yeah.
What are you expecting for the upcoming NPSL season? You think we're gonna get a lot more of those wins, or what?
No,
what's it
yeah,
looking
I
like to you?
do. I do. I hate to say it, but last year we went 10-2. We had no wins. We had a couple ties. We were that close to a couple wins. We gave one away late and such. So our summer team is still looking for their first win ever. And absolutely, our league is not any easier. We still have Duluth FC, which is a fantastic team. They made it to the national Final Four last year. They're going to be a great team. They're always good. We lost Dakota Fusion, who actually won the league last year. They're taking a year off for whatever reason, and we added Des Moines. So Des Moines is a good team as well. So we have a good conference in the North. 6 teams in the conference. There's 6 teams, and the top 4 make the playoffs. So really, my goal this year, is to take a step up, and make the top 4, right? And hey, yeah, maybe we're not delusional to think we're going to get first, but hey, we can get maybe 3rd or 4th and make the playoffs, and make a hey, who knows? Make the playoffs, you make a run, you have some fun, you expand the growth and the brand of the team. So our goal for this season, and our coach, which I'm really excited, by the way, to have our coach back for us, Randall. He's an amazing coach. I really appreciate everything he does and the knowledge he brings to the team. We've also added a great assistant coach, Lacho, who runs the Corver training across the Minnesota. He owns that business, and that's a great training that a lot of people are aware of. So we've added to our staff. So I do think with our increased, our staff has improved, our players have improved. We're going to definitely have the results come in the wins and more ties, if you will. So I think we can definitely make a push for the playoffs this year.
Absolutely, and like you said too, being able to kind of select the players during tryouts, that's going to be a huge impact for us too.
Absolutely, yeah. Last year we're just getting the word out, you didn't have as many people come to the tryouts. You had less talent to pick from, and you had no previous year to build from. Right now, we have a previous year where we're retaining players. We're actually building sort of a style of play and things like that. So I think we're just a leg up from last year to begin with.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. So as the Blizzard is starting to grow, I see that we have created some core values. One of them is community. What's your latest community involvements?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we do have a set of core values that we're going to launch soon here to the public, if you will. And one of them is under community, and I think that's always been one of the foundations. Whether we're in the summer season in the Lakeville South Metro area or in the winter season where we're more of the Twin Cities area, trying to connect with the community. And I think about that in a couple ways. And one of them is sponsorships with our local community businesses, and one of them is just with the community as a whole. And I think, for what we have coming up, I'm excited to renew one of our sponsors this year, Lakeville Brewing Company, a local Lakeville company, of course, and they're a local bar in downtown Lakeville. I think that they're awesome. The team over there, Don, and the other owners are great to work with. They opened a location last year right on Lake Marion in Lakeville, and we had the team out a couple times to their Lakeville location. We did some things with kids down there and just ate and the delicious food. I always like going there and getting a cream ale. They have some great food there too. So Lakeville Brewing, super excited to partner with them again. And then on the community side, the actual people, we did a lot of stuff last year with some schools, and we're going to be doing some things with some schools. We were at Kenwood Middle School last year. We did an event with some of the players. We brought our radar gun and we brought some handouts. And this year we've got our mascot, Eddie the Yeti, we can bring along and do some things in the community. We'll be connecting with some schools.
And you can take a look at some of those school connections and some features on that with the Facebook page as well. The Minnesota Blizzard Facebook page. The bulk of the podcast was right there. They were about to wrap up. Chad and Mike were about to wrap up on the podcast. Chad and Matt, I should say. But if you want to hear it again or hear the podcast in its entirety, certainly find that on the Facebook page of the Minnesota Blizzard FC. And remember, Monday, be at B52s in Lakeville. 4 till close is Blizzard night. The team will be there from 5:30 till 6:30 on Monday. 1-0 Blizzard with the lead as the second half gets underway. Roy on microphone, Curtis on camera here at Lakeville North High School. And on the clock is not running. Now it is running here. All right. Trying to make sure that all the elements are in the right place. 45 more minutes of soccer, and Minnesota trying to earn its first franchise win, second year of existence here in the National Premier Soccer League. Now, it is the second. Do we have to change that on here ourselves? Because we are in the second half. Our display still shows one a chance. That goes wide. That'll be a goal kick for Sioux Falls. Okay. Hopefully that number stays there. All the technology is great, but sometimes it mystifies me. That one sure looks out. Yeah, I just didn't hear a whistle, but this will belong to... it's going to belong to Sioux Falls, apparently. DeGrotto doesn't agree with that, but all the officials are apparently in agreement. Just going to back it up a little bit. All right, second half is underway. Minnesota's in the black with the white numbers going left to right, and Sioux Falls in the white with the dark numbers, red trim. Ball lost to the Blizzard, and DeGoey, who had the assist on the only goal of the game, scored by Morgan in the 28th minute. Had that for a moment at his feet, and now it's a throw-in for Sioux Falls. Minnesota's next game, by the way, even though they don't have a home game until June 7th, their next game is Tuesday, May 27th at Duluth. And then they've got games on the 30th and the 1st at Sioux Falls and Siouxland before their next home game on Saturday, June 7th with Des Moines, the new team in the North Conference, as Chad was talking about with Matt on that podcast piece. So the next game is in Duluth on the 27th, day after Memorial Day. That's Hooper. Hooper lobs it. Boy, someone trying to play it almost kicked a Minnesota player in the head, it appeared. This would be a foul on Sioux Falls, and Minnesota restarts it. Schrock centered that. There's Navia. Schrock back to him. Navia leads it for Schrock. He's going to get there, and he was onside. Crosses it, and a deflection, loose ball, chipped one way then the other, and then Hooper will try to trap it down. Going to get a header battle there, won by Minnesota, but no support in deep. And this ball comes to Armandia. Just underway second half. We'll play 45 more minutes and see who comes out on top. Already 1-0 on the season for Sioux Falls. Season opening game right here for the Blizzard. Looking for Morgan. Morgan trying to settle it down. Taps it to the outside. And now Minnesota just wants to work on possession a little bit here as well and set up a good opportunity. And that ball stolen away, trying to find DeGoey. Lost it, and then just almost steals it back. Hooper has it to get it back for Sioux Falls. And Sioux Falls working on their pinpoint passing to keep it away from those forwards for the Blizzard. Armandia. And that one is up for Riddell. And all the way to Dobson. On his left is Yang, who has to slow down to wait for it. Yang, that one popped away from Mitarakawa. But Dobson gets it back for the Thunder. That was Hooper in the middle. Push that to the right side. Oh, what a play. And Minnesota comes up with it. Great job there on the steal. Flying ahead. DeGoey lines up a big blast that goes off the crossbar. Morgan into the body of Armandia and then to the near corner. Wow, that was quite the exchange there and offered a good chance for Minnesota to extend their lead, but not quite. One of the more exciting exchanges so far, led by the kind of fast break and 2-on-1 that seemed to be developing. DeGrotto will throw it in. Now it's batted again by DeGrotto. A jump ball, a collision. Tapped by DeGoey in the box. And finally a whistle. And a yellow card is being issued to Sioux Falls. And this, not a penalty shot. Ball looks like it's going to be right outside the penalty box area. Yeah, like within inches of the penalty box. So a Sioux Falls yellow. And what an opportunity here for Minnesota. Can't get it up and over the wall. Going to have to do something else with the ball. It is a 4-player wall that is set up by the Thunder. Two players are lined up. There's the kick. They score! DeGoey puts it in off the free kick just outside the penalty area. And the Blizzard have doubled their lead and now lead 2-0. Magui on the goal. He also had the assist on the first one. And now a 2-0 Minnesota lead. So 52nd minute, I think, or 51st. It might have been 51st as we're a little further along here, but 51st or 52nd minute. Magui on the goal, to put Minnesota up 2-0. And now more desperate measures for Sioux Falls, who had all sorts of great scoring chances in this game, but hasn't cashed in on it yet, as Burgos has made some real good saves, got some help a couple of times. There's a little battle going on right there. Foul on Sioux Falls, gets the ball over to the Blizzard. Bishop kind of rolled right underneath his foot, so he has to go retrieve it. Yeah, we know. Sorry. It is 2-0 Minnesota. A throw in. And Sioux Falls gets it back to Armandia. Minnesota comes up with a steal, but too much traffic there to get much developed out of that. Still a lot of time to go in this match, but a 2-0 lead for Minnesota. It was Morgan in the first half and McGoey here in the second half. Sioux Falls drives this one ahead. Minnesota comes up with the steal and passes that back to Burgos. A lot of jockeying for position on those high punts. Coming away with it, Kopani, but lost it. Now there's a hard race for the ball. Yang getting to it. It's cleared out. It'll belong to Sioux Falls. Glissendorf passes to Hooper. Hooper ahead for Cook. Cook, left foot, going back door, headed toward the front of the goal, and Burgos will grab and fall to the turf. A two-handed stop for the keeper for Minnesota. One other game today was the Demon Hawks and Siouxland. That was on the schedule. And then besides that, the upcoming schedule is the Sioux Falls game against the Demon Hawks coming up on Wednesday in Sioux Falls. So one other game today in the North Division, North Conference, and then the Wednesday game, as I say, of Iowa playing Sioux Falls.
It thinks we're in the first half. Appreciate it.
Coming off the foul, Minnesota gets the restart, hurries ahead. Looking to center it and circling back. I believe that's Nevia. And back to Just. Tight passing there and pouncing on it Sioux Falls, but they'll get called on a foul. Minnesota gets the restart. Union 32 Bar in Eagan. Union 32 Craft House is uniquely Minnesotan. Dog-friendly patio. Bring your pups and enjoy the sun. Trivia Mafia every Thursday at 7 p.m. Union 32 Bar in Eagan. Sioux Falls ball. Cook. Deciding. Popped up in the air off the throw-in. Just got in the way. And now Hooper guides a pass ahead. Here comes Sioux Falls with a scoring chance. What a stop by Burgos coming out. Putting his body in front of the attacker. And that attacker was North. Nick North, who had a couple of scoring chances in the first half, is denied on a good aggressive play by the keeper Burgos, preserving Minnesota's 2-0 lead. 57th minute of play. He's had several highlight reel saves in this one. Had some help from a teammate, I know, on one good scoring chance for Sioux Falls in the first half. Turnover created by Sioux Falls, and then stepping in front of the pass was Kopani. And toss back to Navia as Minnesota goes backward in order to maintain possession. Possession of the ball big at this point with a 2-0 lead. And a nice job by Kopani fighting off Midorikawa to keep the ball in their possession. Lead pass ahead for Magoi. And this one is just going to be guided back to Armandia. So here comes Sioux Falls. We know they have the ability to move the ball up the pitch quickly and have had good scoring chances. This one brings a whistle and a yellow. Yellow on Sioux Falls. Guilty players are kind of walking away from the infraction very quickly. And I'm not certain which player got called on that. Free kick coming here for the Blizzard. This is much further out than the goal scoring that Magoi had. Lobs this one over the wall, then headed to the front of the net, getting up in the air, making the play, some contact with the keeper. That will go by the wayside, and the save by Armandia. And from his standpoint, they can't allow another goal if Sioux Falls is going to find a way back into this one with Minnesota up 2-0 as we approach the 60th minute of a 90-minute game. Back and forth over the mid-stripe here in the middle third. And as the ball is rolling in Sioux Falls' favor, Minnesota comes up with it. Looking for an outlet option. And now a loose ball that'll be turned over to the Thunder. Swung outside to Yang. Yang looks and fires it wide. This will be a goal kick. Summit Ortho in Lakeville with orthopedic urgent care open daily from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. at 6 locations metro-wide, including Lakeville. Summit has you covered. Also set up your high school sports physical with them as well. Even if you're not doing that right now, file that away in your back pocket for a little later on this summer, because as much as we enjoy summer, we're always excited when that fall sports season rolls back around on the prep side. Battling for possession, Kopani. He's played a very solid game today. Yang comes up with the ball for Sioux Falls and is pressured. Schrock putting pressure on Cook, and they return it back to Armandia. 28th minute, it was Morgan. 52nd minute was Magoi, who had the assist on the Morgan goal in the first half. So he's had himself a memorable game. Setting it up for the free kick after the foul on Sioux Falls. And now it'll be a throw in for Sioux Falls. So Minnesota's next game is Tuesday the 27th up in Duluth, 31st at Sioux Falls, and June 1st at Siouxland. 3 straight road games before their next home match, and then 3 matches in 8 days. That goes back to Burgos, who has to play it with his feet. Turned over there to Sioux Falls, who would have had it anyway had it gone out, but they wanted play to continue. Nice pass, give and go. Minnesota steals it away, a little flick to his side, and that ball comes back to Minnesota. There is contact. as one player kind of goes flying, flopping through the air, but the foul was called in there against Sioux Falls, so this is a Minnesota restart. But on that stretch of Saturday, June 7th, Wednesday the 11th, and Saturday, June 14th, Minnesota plays 3 home games here at Lakeville North High School. From a long distance away, Minnesota puts it in, and Minnesota has built a 3-0 lead by lobbing that one high in the air. Oh my goodness. And what a game for McGoey. So Minnesota has a commanding 3-0 lead.
Scoring for your Minnesota Blizzard is
So a 3-0 lead for Minnesota there in the 63rd minute.
going out for Sioux Falls, number 16, Trace Dawson. In for Sioux Falls, number 26, Phil Apple.
A pelt has come in for Sioux Falls as Minnesota is well on its way. Still, there's a lot of soccer to go. There's 27 minutes to go, but a 3-0 commanding lead here for the Minnesota Blizzard. They just need to play consistent throughout here. But that one really is a deal breaker for any sort of comeback attempt. McGoey put that in the air, and it just kind of outdistanced everybody. We see that Adamandia is playing outside that penalty box area. He backtracks on that one to pick up the ball. Hooper swings it to the outside for Sioux Falls. Of course, their frame of mind still needs to be they have had some good scoring chances, although part of their frame of mind is an opportunity to get some other players in the game because 2 new players are coming in right now for Sioux Falls. Iadeli has entered the match. And I believe that Storm, who had entered when Yang was injured for a couple of minutes earlier in the match. So new players are on right now for the Thunder.
In for the Sioux Falls Thunder, number 15, Stephen Iadule. Going out, number
And now
34, Aaron Hernandez.
Hernandez is one that went out
Also coming in,
as far as the change in personnel. Storm.
out for the Thunder, number 6, Tom Hooper.
And Hooper is the other one who went out for the Thunder. So Iadeli and Storm, the 2 newest players on for the Thunder. Booted high in the air by Kopani, and that one went out of play. Almost to be a souvenir for that gentleman sitting in the center of the lower set of bleachers on the far side of the field. He's joined by a couple of other fans, but most of the fans who have come to the game are sitting on the press box side below us. Roy on the call, Curtis on the camera here from Lakeville North with the Blizzard up. Well, it's 3-0, but our scoreboard still says 2. Minnesota. McGoey with 2 and Morgan from McGoey for the first one. Now a long pass for the Thunder, batting around an open goal. There's a whistle. I don't think that would have counted anyway, and Burgos is not getting up just yet. So Burgos had to put himself in an awkward position and gets chopped down to the turf. And is now getting back to his feet. shaking off his hand, whether it was stepped on or what have you. His left hand, left wrist seems to be bothering him. Centerpoint Dental, with 4 experienced dentists across 2 convenient locations in Lakeville and Burnsville, Centerpoint Dental is dedicated to providing professional quality care to patients of all ages. Call for an appointment today. The Local Pub. Visit one of their 3 metro locations for great food, a soccer match, and a great time. The Local Pub. So the restart after the foul against Sioux Falls will be inside the penalty box for Minnesota. 68th minute of this one, 3-0, commanding lead for Minnesota. And this attack, centered, Midakara comes just wide on his shot from the right side. Midorikawa with a good scoring opportunity there. He had a goal in the win over Siouxland for Sioux Falls, but that one comes just wide of this near post. Goal kick for Minnesota. I want to find my results from last season. 3 goals in 1 game. That would be a franchise high. Minnesota did not have 3 goals. They had 2 goals in several games last season. But 3 goals is something they have never done before. Of course, we're talking about the NPSL, the Major Arena Soccer League 2, is a different brand of soccer. But for this summer team, 3 goals is a franchise high as they strive for their first franchise win. Just over 20 minutes yet to go and a 3-0 advantage for the Blizzard. Little casual there, bouncing around ball, but Minnesota gets to it. Ahead for Connell, goes out. It'll be Minnesota throw-in. And Minnesota throw-in, but stepping in front of it was Woods. Then it goes back to North. North tries to cross it and not able to get the shot right away, and then it trickles in, as having to spin around and around before he could pull the trigger on that shot was Storm. And by the time he did get the shot off, it rolls in on Burgos, and he makes the save to keep a clean sheet and a 3-0 Minnesota lead. Sioux Falls scoring chances happened plentiful in the first. Oh, there could be a whistle coming there, but apparently not. There looked like the Minnesota player was held up a bit and still getting himself back to his feet, but no whistle comes out of that exchange, nor the other one that's deep in the corner right now, where both players go down to the turf, and one of them is still rolling around for Sioux Falls. He's seating, has sit up, and Midorikawa is back to his feet. The foul is on Minnesota. Foul is outside the penalty box over deep in the corner. So they get a free kick from that angle. Going to the middle. Oh, reaching out there, Burgos. Good job, aggressive play there. Looked like Storm was the player standing right where Burgos got to get to the ball and catch it on the fly and prevent any sort of scoring chance off of that set piece for Sioux Falls. Bit of a collision there. That one seemed more incidental than anything that merited a whistle, and play certainly carries on. Kopani trying to thread something through, battle for the ball. Boy, right tight roping along that touchline right by the player benches. And Minnesota does keep it away from Sioux Falls for the moment, and then a long pass comes across. This is Dobson. This would be Talon Dobson. Number 30, he checked into the match at some point, was not among the starting crew. Now, a good job by Glissendorf getting in front of the Minnesota attacker, who was looking like he was going to get a great scoring chance. That one never quite developed for the Blizzard, already up 3-0, but they could, they'd always love to get more. Navia slips it over. There's a shot that goes high. Goal kick for the Thunder. North Conference a little different this season. Sioux Falls, Duluth, they both start the season 1-0. Iowa new to the conference, and Joy AC yet to play their first games. All right, take that back. Joy AC did lose their first game. Blizzard playing their first game tonight, and Siouxland lost their first game. So a 6-team North Conference. Sioux Falls, Siouxland, Duluth, Iowa, Joy, and the Minnesota Blizzard. 6-team conference, 10-game regular season, and then the top 4 will advance into the playoffs. Kapani kind of deferred to his teammate. Minnesota loses the ball. Woods is back there. He'll chop it over to Aramendia. And then his pass is out to Iodeli. And he fires that, missing his teammates, turns this over to Minnesota. 73rd minute of a 90-minute match, and 3-0 Minnesota. Dakota Fusion won the conference last season, but is not having a team this season. Oh, and Minnesota had a chance developing, but Iodola stepped in front of that. That blast goes off of a Minnesota player. And I think, are they going to, yeah, they're indicating that blast went off a Minnesota player. Might have hit him in the head. He bent over on the sideline, and I guess with the idea that that ball hit him in the head off a kick, they do want to do a little protocol check on him. So a trainer on site is walking him over. I'm just trying to figure out if he's just going to be allowed to continue or if he needs to be checked out by the medical personnel, or if he's simply going to come out. And maybe a new player comes in with the 3-0 score as it is. I believe Minnesota has sent in a new player. And we'll see if we can get that number here, ASAP. Leading the game as it is 3-0. Throw in for Sioux Falls. Right on the edge of the box. Minnesota clears that out. Throw in for the Thunder. Mitarakawa had it, lost it. North had it for a moment. Minnesota wins it away. Schrock right on the edge of the touch line. I think that went out off of Sioux Falls, so it's Minnesota ball. We're down to 15 minutes remaining, plus any stoppage time that'll be tacked on to the end. And headed out. This is still going to be Minnesota ball. They kick it back to Connell to throw in. And this time it's going to be turned over to Sioux Falls. So Sioux Falls ball. Duluth was second in the conference last season, but made it all the way to the Final Four, the National Final Four. So Duluth will be a tough out this season, and maybe the favorites leading into the season with Dakota Fusion taking a year off. Minnesota player getting dragged and held on to a little bit, and then Connell swings it over to the middle to Navia. Kapani to the outside, and he gets it back. A little back and forth. Now a 50-50 ball in the middle. Minnesota gets to it first, but the pass is intercepted. Minnesota gets it back. 3-0 Minnesota. Under 15 to go. Max Just, he's a returner to this roster. A very new roster. You hopefully caught the pregame show with Coach Forrest Randall talking about what he feels is a very talented team, more talented than last season, a roster redo. And the fact that Just is back on the roster says a lot about Max Just, a Lakeville South grad, and Gustavus soccer player. So I believe we have a goal kick here. Did we get a new player in? We have a substitute in. New player is in for Minnesota. Or, you know what? Is that a return of McGoey after he got hit in the head with a ball? I think that might be McGoey just returning to the match after getting hit in the head and being checked out on the protocol side.
Checking in for Sioux Falls, number 7, Eric Beltran.
And Beltran has come in for Sioux Falls, as both coaches use this as an opportunity to get players opportunities in this opener for Minnesota and second game of the season for Sioux Falls. Minnesota had the friendly last weekend. They had some other scrimmages where they felt they played well, so they're not new to playing, but the games count starting now, and Minnesota looking for its first franchise win, 12 minutes away from such, leading 3-0. Right on the edge of the box, trying to kick at it as it's bouncing around is Dobson. Ball comes back to a pelt. That one didn't penetrate through. Headed to the outside by the Thunder. And the goalie, who was burned earlier by being a little too far out, this time is trying to get that offense going ASAP. And this ball will belong to the Blizzard. Schrock will throw it in, or is he going to leave it for his buddy who's coming up behind him? Nope, Schrock throws it in. Turned over, however, to Appelt. Capani got in the way of it, just taps it over as he reaches out with his left leg. Storm gets tripped up. It'll be a foul on Minnesota. The person who committed it helps Storm back to his feet, though. Some nice sportsmanship. We've seen that on several occasions today with injured players getting... Ooh, and there's an effort to knock the ball away that's pretty aggressive. Player goes down, but he pops up right away and is fine. But we've seen good sportsmanship between the two sides in this one. As this one comes outside to Dobson. And Mitarakawa guided it ahead and takes it on the run. Lost there in the middle third. Capani fighting for it with Storm. Storm won that battle. Minnesota gets the ball back. Stolen back by Woods. Navia was the one in the middle working on that a few moments ago. Iadelli swings it to the outside for the Thunder. Just gets in the way. Pass still gets through. Opportunity here for Sioux Falls. That's north. Now it comes down to, and the shot is blocked away. Shot taken by Appelt, but Minnesota's Bishop got in the way of it in such that who was last to touch it? He got in the way, but did the player for Minnesota hit the ball out? If he did, it's going to be a corner. And that must be what it is. Or no. Okay, it's just a goal kick. All right, goal kick. The way Sioux Falls was acting was as if they were going to take it into the corner for a corner kick, that the shot had been blocked by Bishop, but apparently Bishop never touched the ball. That was simply kicked out of play and belongs as a goal kick for the Blizzard. Down under 10 minutes to go, plus stoppage time, 3-0 Minnesota. Turned over to Sioux Falls. That's a pelt. Goes back to Iadola. Passing through some tight action. Tipped away. Just got to it. Now might be turned back over. Beltran going after the ball for Sioux Falls. It is out. It'll belong to Minnesota. If you're not real familiar with the National Premier Soccer League, one of the largest established men's soccer leagues in the United States with over 90 teams. And this league is the top tier of soccer within the United States Adult Soccer Association. Tier 1 soccer. And Magui has checked out, and what a game he has had to celebrate as he takes a seat on the bench in the final 10 minutes. Under 10 minutes to go. He had an assist on the goal by Morgan. Magui then scored on the free kick from just outside the penalty box, and then scored on a long drive down the pitch that went in to really ice this one at 3-0 with under 10 minutes to go in the second half. So Magui, Keon Magui goes to take a seat. Minnesota lobs it over the center line. Now trying to find Schrock. Is that Schrock in the middle? And coming out to get the ball is Aramendia. It was Schrock who was down there looking for an opportunity. One of the new players on is Ashton Hosler, new player on for Minnesota. Ashton Hosler, Hosler. Nice deflection there, but the ball goes out off the Minnesota player. '84th minute. And not sure what the delay is. Ready to throw it in. Talon Dobson, but there is a delay. Oh, a yellow card on the Blizzard. I missed. I didn't see the official pull one out. So Minnesota has its 4th yellow of the match. 2 yellows were issued on Sioux Falls in this game thus far. Spearing that one out of the air. Trying to guide it with his upper body was Hosler. And now plays through some traffic and tumbles down. This will be a whistle and a foul against Sioux Falls. So free kick from that spot there. Minnesota plays again on the 27th. They'll be at Duluth. Next game for Sioux Falls is Monday, as Minnesota gets another scoring chance, and that one goes high. Kind of trying to volley that bouncing ball and just sent it up and over everything. Goal kick for the Thunder. And the Thunder come ahead with it. Pretty sure the one who took that kick was Hosler. He'll be looking forward to more opportunities like that and getting that ball under better control. Navia. Pass for Schrock. Schrock loses it to Woods. And there's a whistle and a foul against Woods. Under 5 minutes. And there was a yellow card issued on that. So 3 yellows now on the Thunder, 4 on Minnesota. With under 5 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Schrock seems okay as he's consulted by his teammate Connell. And one of those two will take this kick as they both line up next to the ball. Official wasn't ready to resume play yet, and I still don't know that he is. There was some equipment that was on the field that a player just went to retrieve just a little bit to the left of the camera shot. A shin guard of some sort. So he's put that equipment back into place. So that was the delay, an equipment delay. Schrock going back door. Player tumbled down. And a yellow. Yellow card issued against Minnesota. That's 5 on the Blizzard. As we're down inside, about 3 minutes to play on the clock. But again, there could be some stoppage time added on top of that. 90 minutes for a regulation game. We had about 3.5, 4 minutes of stoppage time in the first half. And there'll be a few minutes to add on, quite possibly here. A couple of injuries that slowed things down. There's a pass stolen by the Blizzard. But however you look at it, Minnesota is 2.5 or 3.5 or 4.5 minutes away from their first victory in the National Premier Soccer League. They are up 3-0 on Sioux Falls and are looking at win number 1, an historic night here at Lakeville North High School. Mitarakawa in a battle for the ball, foul whistled on Minnesota. Sioux Falls is still going to work hard to get that goose egg removed. Oh, and there's just a fumble out of bounds, and the ball belongs to Minnesota on the turnover. Blizzard lost the ball. Storm guides it ahead. Coming in on the right side and can't get off the shot. I think it is a goal kick. Yeah, goal kick for the Blizzard. Never could get off the shot coming in on the right side. Can only imagine that's North. It is Nick North. He is the scoring threat, main scoring threat, and has had several opportunities today besides being one of the guys that scored in the win over Siouxland for Sioux Falls. Just over a minute to go, plus stoppage. And one of the teammates of Burgos will take the goal kick. And, wow, just as it was about to be guided the other way, catching it was Navia, trapping it. Now lobbed deep down into the Sioux Falls side. Moreno is in for Minnesota. Is one of the recent changes. As again, Coach Randall is giving players the chance to play. Wolf kicks that one ahead. And the rush is all the way down low and then turned aside. Sioux Falls up the far wing. We're down to the final seconds plus whatever we'll have for stoppage time. So it's hard to know. We don't really get an indication on that. This ball comes out of bounds. Sioux Falls is in hurry-up mode to try and get that 0 off the board. And Minnesota trying to protect that clean sheet. New player in is Du Bois. He's in the game. He was shadowing the player right there, Du Bois and Hostler. This one comes to the outside to Dobson, and that one top of the box. Storm can't get off a good shot. Cleared away by Bishop. And this ball belongs as a throw-in for Sioux Falls. We're into the first minute of stoppage time. And that deflection goes out to the Minnesota bench. That'll be a Sioux Falls throw-in once again. And they're saying they threw it in too far. He's got to go a little farther back for his throw-in point. Got to back up some more. Time coming off the clock, or I should say, oh my. He threw that right into the body of the Minnesota player. So it's out of bounds off Minnesota, but that was an aggressive play. So in comes the throw-in. And I think that is Mitarakawa on that far side. Minnesota comes up with the turnover. Minnesota Blizzard fire it out to the middle third. Working on the ball there was Hostler. We're more than a minute now into the stoppage time. Minnesota comes up with the ball. Big collision there. Turned over. Oh, and they're going to say a foul on Sioux Falls. A yellow card has been issued. Another yellow has been issued. They do it so quickly and they don't really hold it above the player that long, so I'm not sure who's getting these yellows. The official is keeping track of it for the league rules, I'm sure, but we here in the But we here in the press box don't know who the yellow is on. So about 2 minutes into stoppage time here. Minnesota trying to preserve this. Their first franchise win is coming up here momentarily. 3-0 lead. McGoey had 2 goals plus assisted on Morgan's game opening and potentially game winning goal if the shutout stands. 2.5 minutes into stoppage time. Minnesota comes out of the scrum with the ball. Then getting pressured, getting away from pressure, loose ball. And that brings another whistle, another card, a yellow card issued on Minnesota. A lot of them in the late stages here just to keep the game from getting too choppy or too chippy, I suppose, as the officials look at this. Waiting to blow the action back into play. Here's a drive from distance. A header. The ball is loose and grabbed by Burgos. Did he keep it out? He must have kept it out, right? Boy, he was close as he was getting that ball. And whether or not it crossed the goal line, it did not. But it was hard to tell for sure from here on a close play. On that long drive, I think it was a Pelt who had the kick for Sioux Falls. Big blast there, knocks down Connell. Driven the other way by Wolf. So we're almost 4 minutes into stoppage time now. Bishop comes up with the steal, goes over to Kapani. Now we've got Mitarakawa. He lost the ball. On it now was Beltran, and all the way out to the middle third. Whoop, and this one, goalkeeper Armandia has to hustle back on it. A ball kicked by his own teammate toward him, and he had to get to it and play it with his feet. Woods dribbles through center, middle third. Minnesota comes up with a steal. Are they onside? Apparently Minnesota was onside, or they didn't touch the ball. It was close to being an offside situation there. Now quite the battle for the ball deep in the corner. Minnesota right at the edge of the box. And then driven ahead, chopped further ahead. Minnesota's Du Bois or Moreno was there on the ball for a moment. It is out off of Minnesota, it appears, and we've got a throw in for the Thunder. Nearly 5 full minutes of stoppage time. And Armandia says, I need a ball. And now he's got a second soccer ball tossed into play. And we almost had a game of Quidditch. Instead, with more than 5 minutes of stoppage time off the clock or added on to the clock, Sioux Falls comes through the middle. Minnesota comes up with the ball. Sioux Falls had it for a moment, and they hustle over to the near side and get to it just to keep it in play. Woods lobs us ahead for North. North is behind Wolf. North gets down there. Loses his balance a bit. Wolf wins the battle. Physical guy, big size with Reed Wolf on defense. We are now 6 full minutes into stoppage time. There's a whistle, and that might be it. 6 minutes it was, and that's all right. Minnesota holds on for the clean sheet with a near breaking of the shutout, but Burgos made a big stop late, and Minnesota has its first victory as a member of the National Premier Soccer League as they win this one 3-0. 3-0 is the final score. Minnesota winning over Sioux Falls. Next game is on Tuesday, the 27th of May for Minnesota. Next game for Sioux Falls is Wednesday. They host Iowa. Minnesota goes to Duluth on the 27th. Next home game for Minnesota is Saturday, June 7th. They'll be hosting Des Moines, the new team in the North Conference, on that day. We'll give you a quick recap on things in just a moment, as this game does go final here tonight from Lakeville North High School. Minnesota with the 3-0 win over Sioux Falls. Be back with a closing comment after this here on Game Time Media.
America is always on the move, moving forward, moving up, moving home. And whether you are moving across town or across the country, Pods delivers when we say we will, with no surprise costs. Which is why we were voted America's #1 container moving company. Join over 6 million people who have trusted Pods with their move. Book your move today at pods.com.
A 3-0 win for Minnesota. The Blizzard have their first victory after having some near misses and a couple of draws. In fact, 2 draws against the Thunder last year. Minnesota gets their first win of the franchise history and wins it in a decisive manner, 3-0 over Sioux Falls here today. It was Morgan from McGoey in the first half, about the 28th minute, and then Minnesota gave themselves a little bit of breathing room when they got a free kick just outside the penalty area, about 52 minutes in, and here it is. Boy, he put that one up and over, and just it started to come down just a bit, and McGoey, who had the assist to Morgan, scores a second goal, and teammates love it, and then McGoey from long distance out put this game to rest with a 3-0 lead, that third goal coming in the 63rd minute. So at that point, with less than 30 minutes left of soccer, Minnesota was not going to give up a lead like that to Sioux Falls. Minnesota played this one real well, even though Sioux Falls had a bunch of scoring chances, because you cannot overlook the impact that Burgos had a couple of times coming out with some rushes coming at him where he threw his body in front of a ball at least 2 or 3 times. Certainly got some help on 1 or 2 plays with teammates tying up some folks in front of the net as well. But all in all, Minnesota gets a solid win today, 3-0 over the Sioux Falls Thunder, who dropped to 1 win and 1 loss on the season. A reminder that a big event is coming up on Monday at B-52s in Lakeville. From 4 till close, it is Blizzard Night. And check out the Facebook page for the Minnesota Blizzard. You can print out that flyer to have with you to help out the cause and share the information with your friends, maybe on Facebook as well. But Monday night, 4 till close, is Blizzard Night at B-52s, and meet the team from 5:50 until 6:30 on Monday as well. So that's all this Monday, May 19th at B-52s. Well, joy bringing you this opening game of the season for the Minnesota Blizzard, and fun to see a 3-0 victory over the Sioux Falls Thunder. For Curtis on camera, Roy here on the microphone, bidding you a good evening from Lakeville North High School. Blizzard win it 3-0 over Sioux Falls.